So, yes, ma'am, and yes, gentlemen, and thank y'all all for coming on. And so, a little power out ain't gonna stop us, As we say, conversations after dark. So in the dark. But how was everybody's day then? How was everybody's weekend?
It was busy.
It was busy.
I was outside sweating with our enslaved ancestors, I swear. But I got everything taken care of outside, and thank God my ancestors were keeping me calm, because I was ready to absolutely lose it. But everything is everything. It's good now.
Because it was the heat index.
The heat was bothering me, but it was my system was giving me some problems. I was trying to get the system functioning properly, the aquaponic system, and so the smaller one that I'm working with, adding on. So I got it working, and so I'm happy about that.
All right. Well, we'll start off with is we will celebrate and say Happy Purple Heart Day. That is a resolution that I put forth in the city that we recognize our Purple Heart veterans. And so today is the day for the 7th day of August, as that's when it's recognized. And so uh, I asked to be sent out that everybody go to Ace Hardware and purchase a purple light bulb, and we light the city purple tonight. But seeming that the power's out, that we're just doing a continuum of all week. So get your purple light bulb and blaze it all week long, as today is officially Purple Heart Day in the city of South Fulton. And we honor those who do have purple hearts. So that's a fact to it.
Okay, good to know.
This is an open forum tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna let y'all talk. Y'all have the microphone. Miss Sheila, we did have the HOA roundtable last week. And so followed up through with that, and so as I still want to be coming through all the HOAs as well, and just let me know when y'all community is able to host. Not next Saturday. I got 2 of them next Saturday, and so, but wherever it could be during the week too, and so as long as they're on a Tuesday. But I can come do a Monday night call in one of them. It's however, and so we just gotta just see what's going on, and what y'all feeling like, and see your faces.
I went to the economic development meeting last week, and glad I went. It was a small turnout, but at least I'm glad I was in the numbers. One of the things that I heard mentioned was through I think the gentleman's name is Artie, wanted to find out how many basically how many parcels of land are available within the city, and that are potential sites for future projects, as well as his intention, or he may mention about updating or finding out when the comps plan was last revised, and just making sure that the city is moving in alignment with the comps plan. So yeah.
With the comprehensive plan.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, right, the most important part of that comprehensive plan It's not the comprehensive plan. It's the land use map designation. And we had talked about this before. So there's an upcoming meeting with the land bank. So I need your input onto when you look at the land use map, and I have an example for you. We're gonna do another call, matter of fact, this week, because I think we need to get this out as to what do we want to have for designations. This is what the land use map is the most vital key to a community to where you're looking at growth. Because see, that gives you land designations of M1, M2, heavy industrial, AG1, CUP, MIX, townhome residential. So to whereas these areas are looking in place for the future land use map, and so if somebody wants to come to zoning and they're like, well, it's not conducive to the future land use map. Like I, for instance, when we went through this process before, put a couple of places down there located for green space. Well, some people want to come and rezone it, and well, it's for green space. Well, that's not conducive to the future land use map of the community. I would say, well, but stop the presses. Hold on, what's the point of us doing this process then? As that is a designation, but they can go to court. This is the real. I'm giving you a real scenario, right? And so, because this case did go to court, and so it ended up going back to the original zoning of what they said they can build. Because we just not gonna be accepted to anything else, but they said that that's unconstitutional. I said, now, if our future is in our hands and we say, and the community says they want us to be AG1, it's unconstitutional to become AG1 because y'all want to rezone them from R3, which is, one home per acre. Help me out. So you could take 27 homes that it can currently get built in. But if it wants to be AG1 for the future land use map, that's unconstitutional. But it's constitutional, they can come in and build 50 units. How's it possible?
Outside of that, just building outside of building outside of the current comps plan allowance.
Well,
That has been going on that has been going on as well.
and what the comp plan says, do not build. It's not recommended. And then they're allowed to do that. I'm trying to figure out how can this not stay. So green space would be the constitutional, based on our comp plan and the land use map, future land use map. That would be our constitution. But we're literally, and in this case, we're going on 3 years. I kid you not. And so I can't. I'm not an attorney. I can't go argue with. But the community saw firsthand, and that is affected. So I want to get serious about it. I'd have this conversation, but like, if we're gonna go through this process and subject ourselves out there to the rigorous looking at where things can go, where things should be as a collective, and we decide on that as a collective, but later on down the road, somebody can, oh well, we want to build this, we're gonna change it. Well, it's unconstitutional. Well, what about the input as a collective? Are they marginalized? Are they even forgot about? Or I mean, I just feel like that's just disrespect. And so, but it's a process. It's kind of weird to me because I still ain't quite grasped that because I'm still stuck on AG1. And so, but if it's under the current zoning, you can go ahead and build. But mind you, our comp plan says it is not recommended that you build because it's in a certain area within a land disturbance. And so it's right there. in black and white. I can't ignore that. But then they say that zone is unconstitutional for that zone to be even created. I can't make this stuff up. And it's just been a long, daunting task. And it's almost like we're fighting and fighting for our future, but we're getting pushback from internal, from within the city. And so that's what we have to change. That's what we have to balance. Because I want to see that change. I want to see if we go through that process, the city needs to be steadfast and sticking to and sticking behind whatever decision comes out of the collective, period.
In addition to that, Councilman, when it comes to the community of the city of South Fulton, when developers come in and give pushback, like the scenario that you just mentioned, the legal representation of the city of South Fulton, we as the people in the community whom are potentially negatively or positively impacted by whatever the developer is trying to build in that community, we have to trust what the representation of the city, how we're being represented by the attorneys. And the situation that my community is faced with, I promise you, I went to one day of the hearing, and the attorney did not call 0 witnesses, 0, did not mention anything that had beef to it at all. He was just basically playing pseudo defense to whatever the developer's attorney was doing. And I was disheartened by it. And my neighbor who went felt the same way. He and I communicated, and come to find out, 0 witnesses for the city of South Fulton was called to the stand. 0. So it's like, if that is the legal representation that we have to look forward to, then developers are going to be able to run roughshod continuously.
As you got to see it firsthand.
I got to see it firsthand, live and in living color. 8 hours downtown. 8 hours.
And somehow, my name made it into the conversation, as there was just like, Kirk Councilman Reed, he would rather see it as a pig farm. No, he would rather see it as a farm. Something like that, whatever it was. And I said, no, that's a correction. Huh?
You had it right the first time. Pig farm.
They said I would rather have a pig farm, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was something like that. But I don't get it. And I'm trying to say is, I must have said that on the DS or something. But that wasn't biased, because you can literally have a pig farm at AG1. But I'm pretty sure they don't want those, because they was going with 83 unit townhome people. Or it's 87. They said, oh, we'll condition down to what? What was it? 60, then 43.
Yes.
And then when they came with the last drawing, I said, these people just said, they took us to court. Now, mind you, 2020, we went over the comp plan. We went over the land use map. I had a meeting with this community. And they said this, and I said, well, we designated green space, AG1, that would be better served. And that's what I did. And in that meeting, they said one of the people, one of the neighbors, he said, "Oh no, they says well you can't build." I said, "What they say to that? I need that document." Do y'all want to know where we found that document? In the South Fulton Comp Plan.
Comps plan.
But it wasn't the 2021 Comp Plan. It was the 2019 version.
It was
2021 never published. So we was looking at the wrong Comp Plan. These are the facts. And so we said don't build, and now there's no witnesses for, as you said, there was no witnesses called. They couldn't call me as a witness.
There were 0 witnesses called. In addition to that, the judge questioned that. The judge questioned why were there no witnesses called. In addition to that, the judge was like, well, why is this builder's project not being allowed, but the other three communities around this particular community, our community, were built, and they are much bigger than what this developer is trying to do. And I was screaming in my head because those developments shouldn't have been allowed either. They shouldn't have been allowed either, based on the city of South Fulton, based on the comps plan that was adopted by, that is still currently being looked at, with the city of South Fulton. It's the I think November of 2019 is that comps plan. But it clearly states in there, because of the rock quarry and the close proximity of the developer's bill, that it should not be, it should be a no. Or if not a no, should absolutely come with some requirements to protect the future homeowners as well as the community at large.
Right. And so go ahead and spread the word. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. But we got to go through this process again because we got to revisit it due to us having a land bank. But also, too, is new housing concepts that the market dictates and people want in the marketplace. And so forms out of containers, cottage homes, which we already have on the books, and can get some with a tiny home footprint within that cottage home. And so we went through this before, but now College Park is a church as an example. Everybody champions it. Yay, cottage home. And so, but also too, is look at other buildings like containers. And I went to we was at the graduation ceremony for, it was at the Condata building at Georgia Tech. We're going to have meetings down there in person. Those who could come down there and make it is you need to see this livable building. Specific reasons, we're not going to just break out in detail right now, but however, they have a meeting space. They said can meet up to 16 people. I said, oh, we can bring the whole call down there because just about the average of what comes on call every Monday. But we're literally going to start having meetings down there. And because it's a very awesome, very livable building. It's only one of 28 in the world, and it's number 1 in the world. And so sustainability at its finest. They brought nature back into the exterior, the walking path, walking trail. I mean, you just got on the balcony portion, a garden and, bee pollen. And so when they actually go with the bees and honeycombs and the suits and all, I mean, it's just an awesome building. Y'all have to go check this out if anybody ever down there at Georgia Tech, but don't worry about it. We'll be having a meeting down there. But I'm just gonna let people know too. There is an area and there's a way for containers to come. They have examples of container malls. I know Suzette recently bought one of container hospitals, but we have to have the designation for those opportunities to come. And these are great opportunities. We might even have opportunities to manufacture them here. Who knows? You know, made in South Fulton, stayed in South Fulton. And so is I just look for things that's positively trending in that direction. You know, manufacturing is different than warehousing. So much different. As you want manufacturing. And so but then you want and if you have green manufacturing, oh my goodness, that just sets it apart. But this is the stuff that we're on. And so this Friday was just announced that DeKalb County is going to be playing our Ballin' with a Purpose. Their Midnight Madness is meeting our Ballin' with a Purpose at 8 o'clock at Burnett Gym, where midnight meets purpose. And so, come out. The championship game was very exciting, very exciting. And come on out and see what it's about. And so it's and if you have not signed up, do sign up for the next class, a low voltage and high voltage class. Start on August the 15th and August the 17th. And so then carpentry is going to come to Creel in October.
Can I jump in for a second? The classes.
Go ahead.
So August 15th will start. They're changing up what the classes are. I just got updated. The Tuesday night, 6:30 to 8:30, is going to be conduit building. So it's the next part of the high voltage class. And those who didn't get to take the first part, they're going to be offering that on Thursday night, 6:30 to 8:30. We have been feeding everybody, so we know they're coming in from work or wherever. We do want people to sign up for it. Your funds are being paid to help make sure people get this training. It's a 6-week class. You're only allowed to miss one class. I think Ms. Karen is on the call. Did not both of your girls finish through this class? Young ladies?
Yes, ma'am. Both of them.
And
Yes,
how
ma'am.
it?
And opportunities are going to them. Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. And how old are they, if you don't mind sharing?
I didn't hear what you said. I'm driving.
How old are
What's
your
their
young
age?
ladies, if you don't mind sharing?
24 and 25.
24 and 25.
They look like they 12 and 13.
I thought they was 12 and 13.
I know.
And the reason I'm putting that on the
I
highlight,
literally thought they were 12 and 13. But we did have a 13-year-old in the class.
we did. And the reason I'm highlighting that is because a lot of times when we have been putting out and recruiting for this class, for some odd reason, we are creating our own gender norms of thinking that this class is just for men. It is not just for men. The earning opportunities is for men and women, not just men. So I just want to make
say something. Can I say something to that? And for women, the opportunity is wide open because women are a minority.
In that specific area.
Is wide open.
Right.
It is more for us. We have a bigger lane because it is a male oriented. My girls are thinking about starting a business.
So I'm talking about, that's what I'm talking about. Entrepreneurship. Start that business and get this. Go see. Matter of fact, isn't there classes on how to start a business?
There sure is. Facts
I'm trying to tell you.
They're working on to start in September to start up the next business plan class.
All right now. All right,
Just
all
tell them
right,
go
all
ahead and
right.
invest in themselves. Invest in themselves.
Yes,
And so that's the best investment you can bet on you, right?
yes,
Nobody else
yes.
do, bet on you. And
Look,
so
they have applications at Burdette Park. You can reach out to me if you want an application. We have several ways that we can help people get signed up, but it is not just for District 5. It is for the city of South Fulton.
entire
So
city.
they can come all the way from Cascade and Fulton Industrial if they want to. They just need to be committed to coming to the class. That's really it. Parks and Recs has already put the money aside to invest it into the community to provide this training. So all we ask is that people come and be committed to the class. Don't take up this space if you're not going to stay, because we do have people begging to get into the class. And our first opportunity is to make sure our residents are taken care of first. But we have people from other cities, counties begging to get into the class.
Not just begging to get in the class, they want to emulate the whole program. And so, is what we have started, ladies and gentlemen, is a blueprint. And I'm not going to let people forget that we are a blueprint. This is a vision that I had a long time ago, but bringing together the right people to manifest it out there and get this whole thing going. But however, it's, certain things just, if the program in its entirety, you'll accept the parts of the whole as this is the major portion of it. And, differentials is not going to get in the way of achieving the objective and changing the trajectory of lives that live within our footprint. And so, as I'm certainly glad to hear that entrepreneur opportunity, they're thinking about starting a business. As I'm trying to tell you, that's the entire goal. Is everybody can have a job, acronym just over broke, or you can go get a career, or you can take that and then become an entrepreneur. It's either which one you want, but it'll be your choice. But hey, at the end of the day, you have a skill set that'll never go away. Facts. And I'm proud of that, and I'll step behind it. I love it. I love the fact of what we're doing. And so, as we got one more little portion, and so we'll just keep celebrating. As the will to bring the concert series here, but it's not about a concert series. It's really about the mobilization, demobilization, setting up the stage, setting up the light, setting up the sound. It's all that things that goes on to producing a concert, making a concert happen. And so, as far as when you're dealing with stage and you're dealing with in the community and you're dealing with things of that nature, and so that's opportunity. And so it's and by us having these events and some things that certain departments see that now they should just have on deck or just in the warehouse. And so, I think we are well capable of, in other words, we don't have to rent everything, people. We just shouldn't. There's some things that just be staples. But we have to have a staff adequately equipped enough to handle it. And, what better way is to just have it in our bandwidth to do within ourselves. So I encourage y'all to take this. What was our oldest graduate? Was he 63? It was in the 60s. So this ain't just for men. This ain't just for women. This is for youth. This is for millennials. This is for elders. This is what we have is non-discrimination, but this is all inclusive of the constituency. And I believe we touch on every demographic throughout the city. The young man who fulfilled the purpose also won the championship. And that young man I'm just certainly proud of him, as he was the first one. I want a different opportunity. And I said, watch him, that's him. And he won. They won. There was actually 15 points down. They came back and won. It was a very exciting game. But that just shows you when they think they have you down, But if you had a mindset of a winning mindset of a collaboration, because they all clicked on the cylinders when they needed to and came back and won that thing. But everybody, they'll count them down. I said, no, this basketball, we go to the zeros. That's our second half is championship time, baby. Okay, because everything up to those moments, you know, goes away because you only got 15 minutes to shine. And they were down 15 points. I mean, it was exciting. And I'm proud of everybody who participated, as they were history makers. History in this nation. And I'm going to keep saying that. We made history in the nation. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? Yes, no, yes, no, yes,
Yes.
no.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
changed lives, Corey. It was life changing.
Mhm.
Life changing.
Did that young man accept a job yet? I'm sure he had a couple of opportunities at least. Did he follow up with you and tell you the
Oh, yeah,
route
he
he decided
already
to
has
take?
a job. Right, he already has a career. He just going, you know what I mean, is well, he has a job, and so he wants to, you know, just do something different. And because the class, the whole purpose of Baltimore purpose is because the basketball players who sign up for basketball, they have the first right of refusal to the class. So if they don't take the opportunity, that's when it's opened up to the community and beyond. And so, but he took advantage of it. And so, but is he going to further his knowledge base? Oh, absolutely. And so now is where the caveat is there's federal funding to keep them going if they want to become journeymen. So, young lady, to your daughters, there's further federal funding,
Can I
and
jump in
because
with that?
they're women and got women in construction, right? Right. I will let Tamika in a second. Is that it's just what you said? It's wide open, and there's money for that. Go ahead, Tamika.
So there's an actual women in construction organization, and they have also offered to come in and try to teach some classes. Um, and we are meeting with WorkSource, which is over the We at Work program. And so they have a mobility bus that you can come out and register for trainings and jobs. And I'm going to go see what the vehicle looks like tomorrow, between 10 and 2 over in front of the College Park Library. But they're going to be bringing it over to the Flat Shoals Library. I believe he said the first Tuesday. He's coming on there to speak with us on another Monday night about the programs. But the short version of that is they have funding for people to get job training internships. They start as early as 16, so they can work while they're in school. And I think that's a big piece. And they make it $15 an hour. So if you know someone who's in school, they may want to consider registering. They have a program that's paying them $200 a week just to do career training while they're in school for 2 hours a week. They're paying them $200 just for people who graduate, but they got to be in the program to get the funding. So they have to apply for that, but he'll be on to give you those details. But if someone needs to jump on it right now, they can come over tomorrow. He also talked about helping pay for them to go to trade school. So if someone wanted to finish from this program and go and get their full trade program, they might be eligible to get it paid for. So we have lots of resources to help the community. The community just has to want to use them.
Where is this again, Tamiko? I'll get with you because I'm interested in going with you to see.
I'm going to see what the vehicle looks like tomorrow between 10 and 2 over at College Park Library, but he'll be over here on Flat Shoals at the beginning of September, and he'll be on the call. I think the August 25th meeting. I'm not looking at the calendar, but it's the 8th. He'll be on
Friday.
Okay, well, I'll go look at the calendar because he is coming this month to come and speak to y'all about the program.
Yeah, 28th. So the work source, and I'm just telling you, I preach that program. I love that program. And so they have one in Atlanta, and it's a very interactive bus. And so you can pretty much come in and do applications, do things of that nature. And so as I asked, it really is, as I hope they put in for the request for a mobile parks and recs vehicle, right? Of our like similar type. As you know, being a very robust department is, parks and recs could be, pull up in communities and just let folks know what's going on at each and every one of the parks and all the programs. And so I think a mobile parks and recs vehicles will serve this city well. After all, it's parks and recs. And to me, it's always going to be a city's vitality is through parks and recs. And so it gives us many things to do. The only thing is we just need many more facilities. But that's coming too, people. And so it's just saying that I so look forward to the future now. Is it going to take time? Absolutely. But the longer it takes, the longer it takes, the stronger and bigger our workforce begins in the trade that can build it. Hey, don't y'all love it? You know what I mean? So I'm just saying that the opportunities of everything about this program and the bandwidth of it is just magnanimous. And so
I want to jump in because you just reminded me of something when you said that. The Work Source program is not just for people who do not have jobs. I think that's a misconception about it too, because I actually got to go through it a few years back, and it's for people who are underpaid as well and that want a better job. So you can be working and still get the program to make more money and make a better income. And you could have finished college. So in other words, years ago, they helped pay for your project management certification or your Lean Six Sigma certification, which was like $5,000 a piece. So you could have already finished your degree and wanted additional training. It doesn't have to be you don't have a job. That's it.
And I believe there's a component in there that includes housing. So the old growth of trees at Fairwood and Bismarck, right? Public Works. Sister Johnson called me about that over the weekend. And so as I'm gonna give her a call about that today and then the one at Fairwood and Bismarck, right in the right away. And so that's the Public Works deal. And that'll go in there. I would say do see-click fix, but just take some pictures and send it in and hopefully they go ahead and get that trim back. As I'm not understanding this, it's the start of the school year. And they know the start of the school year, people are going to be more walking. I think that would be a natural. Anyway, we'll just send it into the proper department and look for that adequate solution to hopefully get this done tomorrow, this week for sure. But I got you, Ms. Johnson. I mean, I know Ms. Johnson was calling me, but thanks, Linda.
I got a question. Nobody has mentioned anything about people going back to school. And I don't recall getting a date. Like last year, we went with Fellwood to cheer them on to get ready for school. And I didn't get a date for that at all. Did anybody have anyone going back to
I
school
thought
this year?
school started back next week. Apparently school started back this week. As they get early and early, because it used to be after Labor Day.
Fellwood, what
No.
happened? Tell us about getting ready to go back to school.
Glenda.
I'm here, but you know I can't raise my hand. That's why I need this class. However, we contacted the school several times and they never got back with us to have the event. So what we have talked about is maybe trying to get together with them for Halloween and have an event at that time. But we did attempt that event.
It ain't too late.
Um,
But let me just say this. Let me just say this.
mhm,
They have a new principal over here.
yes,
And
go
just,
ahead.
well, it just takes time to build new relationships. I would say that.
Okay. All right. And this is why we said that we would attempt to have a Halloween event with the school. Because one year I believe we did have it at Halloween and it worked out just fine.
Right, good trunk or treat.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's our goal, is to contact them again to see if we can have that program.
Okay, because I know that October the 28th, the city is doing something. I don't know what it is, but
Oh, October the 28th. We don't need to use that date then.
right. That's why I'm going ahead and putting it out there and saying I know that they put that on the calendar. And I know that some people don't really kind of look at that, but if I hear a date and know something's happening, just pencil it in. And so one of the things that this administration attempts to do is not schedule anything on dates that other things are scheduled on. So normally ours is scheduled, we plan this
Okay.
our whole year ahead of time, and you know, but we hope that everybody would take that sentiment so that everybody can share in all the festivities that go on in the city. And bring people out
Okay.
to
Well,
other
since
parts of
I'm
the city that they
talking,
don't normally go. Go ahead.
mhm. Excuse me, since I'm talking, I would like to commend the city of South Fulton and all the employees that worked on National Night Out because it was a wonderful event. And thank y'all
Yeah,
so much.
absolutely. Thanks to all of the city of South Fulton employees. We
How many
appreciate them.
chance to come out?
I saw 3 of my neighbors and I was really surprised, but I thank them very much for attending.
Did you make it, Tony? Sheila, Stacy, Jane. Did any of y'all make it?
Jane
Yes, I
was
made
there.
it out, miss. Yes, ma'am. I was there. I had a great time. Thank you. Also, my hand been raised. I don't think nobody can see it.
Go ahead.
Hey, everybody. Anyways, so we talking about jobs and stuff. Remember the 2 guys that came? Did we talk about that yet? Remember the 2 guys that came for whatever they were hired for? Whatever happened? How they doing? Did they do what they were supposed to do, or what? Y'all remember the 2 young men from the school? No.
Oh, you talking about the apprentice, the apprentice that were following,
Yeah, the
county?
tiny homes or the cottage home or something they were doing.
The
Remember?
intern, that was their
The
project.
intern.
They
Huh?
just finished Friday. We were talking, we just started the meeting off with that. We went to the
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
and they just finished on Friday. They had a
okay.
week.
Okay, good.
They had a very good experience. They were one of the few projects that everybody was asking them about because that we had the only one up there. Homes.
Right. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, you're
Well,
fine.
and then also too, we
Thank
had
you.
sent them back better than when we found them, and so want to expand his bandwidth. And also too, another thing is that some people can go to school and realize that they're better served off having in the trade. They just have to kind of recognize that. But as I tell people, this a trade versus school. You can go to a trade in, in the 4 years, I mean, you paying off that stuff and you're on to the working. And some people would rather do that. And some people are good at that. And so, but this was an opportunity, and some people discovered themselves. But also, too, is that a further relationship is born because we're building this for the long haul, longevity. So the PEN program with the fifth, because the project that they was working on is a continuum. And so that's what I understood with the PEN program is the continuum. But when I walked in that Condata building, I walked in and I said, oh, hey, I felt at home. I felt right at home. And so I said, yes, indeed. And so I just can't wait to further the dialogue and build this relationship with Georgia taking this PEN program in perpetuity. And so I think that it's going to be partnership served very, very well. And so as I have a narrative and I'm just working on some outlines before I go meet with them again. And but well, y'all come on down with us. We're gonna have a meet down there. And so I'm gonna be doing my call down there next week. Well, probably not next week, but in the upcoming weeks. And so
We'll schedule it for a September date.
all free. Y'all should really go check
Okay.
this bill out. Go ahead.
Oh, Councilman, I'm sorry. Do you know anything about this lithium battery storage they supposed to be building in the city of South Fulton? And this meeting tonight, is it in College Park somewhere?
Okay. The lithium battery storage.
The lithium battery storage.
Right. This is something that came up 2 years ago.
Okay.
And it's actually being built in College Park.
Oh,
But
okay, it's in College Park.
because don't let them separate us, but trees is that little imaginary boundary line out there, butts up against that South Fulton. And so and College Park approved it.
Oh,
It had
I
nothing to do with
see.
South Fulton.
Oh.
But South Fulton
Oh.
residential effects. And so they're afraid about the storage of how many hertz is it gonna bring, what it's gonna mean for the community. Nobody goes on this thing. It's just they have one on Garvey Road, right? And so they just added space to it too. So if you're coming up Highway 279 and make a right on Garvey Road, just past a little Kroger, just past a little space, look to the right. Oh, by the College Park police station, I believe, right before the end, as you'll see kind of a new out parcel, but that's a battery storage. So that's like for fiber optics and things of that nature. So if people on 5G, you have to have these little hubs to operate it and serve as conduits. And so, but we have no vote on this. It's not even in our city. And so, but
Okay.
like I said, and it's been 2 years. It's been very controversial. They went up to College Park like 3 times before it passed. And so, but, what we need is a buffer to ensure that from that little imaginary boundary line, that whatever is going to be a cause and effect, and if it's going to cause any damage or whatever to the environment, as far as air, hearing, or whatever, then we need to know that information as well. And so, what does the test say, or what does the environmental impact say? Or is there even any environmental impact? But where's that statement? And that should be produced at the city of South Fulton, because that's just being a good neighbor.
Right. And where is? I'm sorry.
No, you fine. My question is, like you said, the impact, even though it's in Park, don't they have to do like the community in a certain radius of it, which it would then hit our?
That would be ideal.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But that's not mandatory.
I mean, that would be ideal. I mean, it's been, if you come in and building things of that nature, but that's what an environmental impact statement would be. because that's from the site, then you would have that from the radius, which is a 360-degree bandwidth around that in a certain amount of distance. And so that would include the city of South Fulton and would include College Park as well as those residents that are, you know, would be affected. Jay,
Did
where you
y'all
driving
see
to?
the mural? Did y'all
I like that
did
with
y'all
all
see
art.
the
Where's that at? That's College
what?
Park. Where you
Huh?
at?
In College
You're in
Park?
College Park.
I'm
That's a
heading
mural
to
in
the
College Park,
yeah.
right? Yeah, that mural been
Did you
painted.
see
They
that
finished that up.
mural?
They finished that up a little over a year ago.
Well, I just saw it because I came this way before. I didn't see that. I just saw it.
Yeah, I call that exceptional wall art. And so that
Wow.
gives the people opportunity. I love
That's
those expressions.
nice.
Right. We need a mural
Oh,
too,
I
don't
didn't even
we?
know nobody else
Yeah.
would see. Wow.
That's a mural too. Don't worry, our mural's
Oh,
coming, I guess. Sometime soon.
okay. Yeah, that is so nice.
Anybody
Okay.
else? You going somewhere where they got power? Anybody power back on? Mine still off.
Oh yeah, my internet came back up. Oh, and my cable came back on.
Yeah, nothing come back on from here.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well,
And
let's
so, but
pack
I
them.
need this power because I need to get my laptop. So I got to do some work. But I'm just saying that. But anybody else? Anybody got anything else to talk about? Nothing else.
No, but I'm about to go to this meeting. So thank y'all. It's a great meeting. Thank y'all. Okay.
All right. Well,
Right in
we're
here.
gonna end up. Well, we're gonna end a minute before time. It's 7:28. You know, it's 7:30, and so
Oh, right on time.
thank y'all all for joining this call, and so taking time out of your day to join us. We appreciate you.
Mhm.
Remember, I love you. You can't do nothing about it. But look here, also too is just look at the things that are happening in the city of South Fulton that is positive, and let's focus on those things. And so we have, you know, I mean, it's a rough challenge, but at the same time, it's a challenge and it's a journey. And you know, but this journey is well worth it. And so, particularly as y'all see the output, as y'all see the effect, and y'all see the opportunity, because y'all see the future, and it's truly in your hands.
Well,
That's
life
the
is a
hope.
journey.
Life is a journey.
Life is a
Absolutely.
journey.
And so it's one step at a time, though.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Well, to all, I bid a good night and thank you all again. We appreciate you having the most excellent week. Remember, we do have the budget hearing tomorrow, the proposed budget hearing tomorrow at 2:00. Then we have a special call meeting, and then we have our work session that will be taking place tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, tune in because this is our Super Bowl.
So is there anything
Okay.
particular we need to look at or think about?
It's a
And you let
proposed
me know,
budget
Miss
hearing.
Collins. You let me know.
Right.
I need what?
Yeah, it's a proposed budget hearing. So yes, there's gonna be questions, and you know, this is what they took bits and pieces of what we all wanted to put it in, and so now this is the city manager's proposed budget. So now this is when we go back and forth and talk about what we need, priorities, where the funding is going to be, because you can't just ask for it earmarked and appropriated. It must be line items spelled out, then make sure it's in there and everybody's on the same page. And so, as we definitely don't want to leave that undone, you know, because that's depending on staff to execute what their directive was. And so there will be follow up.
Okay,
And
good.
I'll get us all the way and make sure that whatever's in there, make sure they have it written down, copy and executed. And so, and spelled out now. And so God forbid you don't make that mistake. And so it's But however, this is where we do it. This is why this is our season, and this is where, where the heart of the matter is right now. Where are we putting our money? All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope to see y'all tomorrow.
Hey, Councilman. Okay,
Yes.
good night. I got my solid waste bill today.
Hey, how much was it?
The same 233. What was it?
19.
233.16.
Okay.
Due
Those for
September
y'all
the 30th.
55 Those for y'all 55 and up?
Yeah,
Y'all can apply for y'all. Y'all can apply
due
for the
September the
one-time relief.
30th.
Right, okay, cool, good deal.
The 55 and up can
so-
apply. We can apply for what?
55 and up, you can apply for the ARPA for the one-time relief for the first year. City will pay
Oh,
for
okay.
it.
Oh, okay. So how do we do it? We need instructions.
Say, get this. I'm waiting on them too. Because get this,
Don't
I'm waiting
tell
on
my
them.
neighbor.
Get the communication. Get this. And I said to myself, I said, I want 1 point. I said, y'all better not send nothing out. I said, all they know is we approved it. Now get this. Now communication, execute the communication on how they do it.
Yes,
One
tell
source of
yeah.
communication. So as soon as that come out, I'm gonna let y'all know. I promise you I will.
Okay.
They got a telephone number on here. Maybe they know about it.
Hey, listen, I would say call, email, text, as we're not gonna let y'all miss this opportunity. And so tell everybody 55 and up, hey, Harper, paying it one time.
Well, you're gonna have interest accrue if you don't pay it on time. Additional interest will continue to accrue each month until you pay it in full.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, they're not playing around, huh?
Nope. Failure to pay the amount shown on the due date will result in interest and penalties.
If y'all see me on the corner with a cup, just drop a quarter in it, okay?
Additional interest will be charged and a penalty you're gonna get if you don't pay it on time. They doing the IRS now.
I'm trying to tell you, look at
Interest and penalty if you don't pay it on time.
Well, they say you gotta have it, right? But this is, I think that I'm hoping this just initial, because see in the future that I hope they can let people take 233, break it up in 4 quarters and go ahead and pay it that way. So because I prefer broken up payments. And so helps you out there for the budget wise. But hey, however, I guess I have to come up with 233 then by September the 30th.
End of September, 233.16.
233.16. I can't
It's like
apply for
paying,
the amnesty.
you know, your Georgia Power bill more than that. Come on now.
How you know?
Hell, they went up and they getting ready to go up again. So you had a June Georgia. Hey, if you had a
They
June
slapped
Georgia
me.
Power bill and you was turning your air on in the month of June and you got your bill in July, you know how expensive it was.
They
Everybody was
slapped me
complaining
with
about it.
$531.
Everybody complained about it. So you know what it was. You know what it's like.
I'm talking about I get it. I said, what? I said, no, hold on. I went and said, oh, hold on, Elizabeth. I was like, look here, I did a Fred G. Sanford for real. I said, nah, I said, I don't even use that much
Yep,
goddamn
that June
power.
bill that came in July was unbelievable.
Well, I sure hope they got my bill right because it was $68.
See.
Miss Glenda, you could have kept
What, your
that to
Georgia
yourself. You could have kept that to yourself. You ain't got to gloat.
You must have
Now,
used
what do you do to
must
get
have
your bill
used
to
your
be
air.
$68?
She's sweating.
You must
Oh no, I run my
at
air.
all. You didn't.
I run
Yeah,
my
you sitting
air.
there sweating.
I run my air and my
No.
ceiling fans.
They made a mistake on you. Must have. Yeah, you must have it on 80 then because that's the only way you got a $68 bill. That's crazy.
I have it on 75 and I have a new unit, but anyway.
Miss Glenda, we need to
I'm
talk.
gonna check with Miss Glenda. This is a financial literacy moment. They do tell you to run it at 75 and use your ceiling fans. They were just on the news this weekend explaining that. And then they said, and you can also adjust your bill to get a set amount through the year. So you don't have those fluctuations of 21 month and 300 another month. So you just have an even bill every month. And
I'm on the budget.
It's a fixed
I'm
rate
on
and
the
they
budget.
prorate it. And so it could be
Budget
like
building.
105, 110.
Been on the budget for years.
Budget billing.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and you have to also lock in your rate,
I do.
because that also messes with your bill if you don't lock in your rate.
So that's how
Okay.
Glenda gets her $68 a month. And so get this.
I ain't
Well,
want
I
to say
tell you,
nothing. I'm with you though. My bill is the same too.
wait. But check this out.
But
Check this out. But you also do have to have insulation, proper insulation, weatherization of your house, and making sure that you know leaks and anything else of that nature. So that is, I couldn't believe it. Well, then y'all let me borrow $400. You get this, I'll be doggone you ain't gonna have no power now. See, check this out. That's essential to life.
Do like
However,
everybody else, put a GoFundMe out there. They put it out there for everybody.
oh no, you get this, sister. Check this out. It's like, you know, when they really hit me with it, I said, man, my goodness. But the good thing about Georgia Power is they said he'll pay this minimum amount right here though. And so
That's right.
because you best believe when they get down to zero, hey, I want my $68 fixed rate. Give me my Glenda Collins, okay?
But one thing about it, when you don't pay it, you come home, you won't have no air, no lights, and because Georgia Power will cut it off.
And get this, like it's like clockwork.
You will get cut off.
Right.
They'll
And get
send you
this,
a notice though. They send notices.
that little square little postcard, right?
Yes. I've gotten them before.
Oh, I get them all the time. And so get this, that ain't bad for him. I'll just forget. But
Mhm.
I'm scared of that automatic pay stuff because so you automatic drafters, they tend to draft some. So I don't do that. But it don't matter. I just got educated on the fixed rate.
It's fixed, they have fixed and a budget. So
I don't go to fixed rate.
For budget billing, however you call it, because you can run it at a
no, it's two separate
Two different ones.
plans.
Mhm. Because think about it. If they charge you $120 every month and your bill is $80, that means the difference in that they making a profit off of you.
Making a profit. But don't
Okay.
they give you, I think they give you a check back if I'm not mistaken. But
I don't know about that. I never took the chance of it.
I never got a check from Georgia Power.
I have done it, and what they do is they look at your previous year and they estimate. So if you use $1,200 worth of service in a 12-month period, they're going to divide it by 12 and say, hey, your bill every month is going to be $100, and then it's just going to stay $100, whether 1 month is 20 or 1 month is 500. You're going to pay an even 100, so you can do your actual monthly budget consistently and not get hit with that. The other part is the locking your rate. Like when we go to the gas pump and the rate changes all the time, you lock in your rate, then that's the rate. And that will stay that rate for the whole year. So it'll calculate at that rate of what they charging you. And a lot of times when you lock in your rate, it's gonna be under the general rate at that moment. But you know, once you lock it in, that's your rate.
No, I like that budget billing. I like that one, brother. I like that one. Like hey,
you can do them both or one or the other.
I'm gonna try to get mine at $50 a month.
Okay. Just make sure you turn your ceiling fans on.
I guess you're gonna be hanging out at the Economic Development Building then.
Well, right. Hopefully they got gas.
You're not gonna be at Burdette in that sweat box.
Now that's the other thing. You can get the thermostats with the timer. So if you're not going to be home, you can regulate, you know, when it comes on and all that stuff.
But then you got to be careful with that as well, because when it comes on, if the temperature, if it's 79 degrees in your house when you're not there, and when you come home, you want it at 65, 62, then that's a huge power load as well. So it's going to take more energy to cool your place off. So I guess, Ms. Collins, that's why you have yours set at 75.
Sure do.
And
so when I walk in, it's cool.
75 is cool to you?
When you coming from 90 degrees, yes.
You're right.
Honey, I need mine on 68 to 70. I ain't putting it nowhere. No.
Right, mind you, with the ceiling fans and proper insulation and stuff like that. That's why because I used to think curtains and stuff was just, I was like, what do people all that? Like, if I had a choice, I would just have an open windows of the tent on it. But those actually serve the purpose of out there making it energy efficient and keeping everything inside. Because once it's cool and they got the ceiling fans going, it doesn't feel like 75. Even though it's 75, but it doesn't feel like it as you get that nice little breeze. But how many ceiling fans? You got one in every room?
Yes.
There it is right there.
Uh-huh.
So,
Oh,
right.
one
So,
other thing. If you tint your windows, that means the sunlight cannot come in and your flowers do not get the effect of the sunlight. So please don't tint your windows if you have plants.
Unless you have plants that are low light tolerant.
Well, the people I know did have it and they made a big mistake by tinting those windows. Please do not tint your windows.
So Sheila, do you have a nest? Sheila, don't you go silent on me. You got a nest. Sheila.
She done went
Is
silent.
she on mute?
She
She
went
done went
silent.
silent.
I need to talk to somebody to have a nest system in their home and regulate their temperature with the nest.
Now I will tell y'all to go look at the Georgia Power website because they have different discounts for you to get energy efficient equipment, and they have rebates and they have services for you that you may not be aware of. And they do an energy check for your home. If you schedule them to come out, they'll tell you where the energy you're losing energy.
That's true.
right. And so that's what I'm saying. And that's what most people like insulation, like wall insulation, things of that nature, spraying insulation that'll keep it cool and warm. And so
Yes, it is free.
I legit have to respray my whole attic. So I'm gonna get that blown in insulation. And so it's because if you and make sure your openings on your exterior, because that allows for little rats and little rodents to get inside and be up eating up your insulation.
And
And
change
don't
your
forget the
filter.
squirrels.
This is talking about the squirrels, right? You know what I mean? She weird.
I
And
know.
change filters too.
Oh yeah,
And
keep that on.
clean your vents. Those are another ones that they said eat up energy when you don't clean out those vents and filters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Tamiko. You need to go ahead and start an HVAC course as well.
Well, I'm gonna tell you a cheap way or a fixed way of how many vents you have is you can make cutouts. Go buy those little cheap filters and make cutouts over the returns of the supply, and you can just put it over there. Just use that double-sided tape, put it over the vents, those openings. Hey, put your little bounce sheet up there for the dry pad. Oh, it's my dry fresh all day long. Now that, hey, that's my college days right there, but you know what I mean, it still works today.
I like my instant experience.
I love incense. I'm trying to tell you, girl, hey, she late to the party, Chandra.
Like, gave me some, so now party.
Do what?
I said you gave me some, so now I'm in the party.
Oh yeah.
I didn't say you wasn't in the party. I said you was just late to the party. Man, it's cool. You caught up. You hit the gas.
Stop in, step in. I don't remember the rest of the rap lyrics.
Yes, she does. She was at an A-Town concert this past weekend, jamming over there, talking about, yeah, shouting.
Hey there, Corey.
This call is
I
being
don't think
Hey there.
Hey,
No.
good. This is the call after dark. This is the call after the call.
Hey there, Corey.
Hey,
I was
D,
at a
what's
party,
up, man?
but not that party.
This is your path.
Uh-oh.
Somebody say, uh-oh. Yeah, I've been listening.
Yes, sir. How you
got-
doing?
I'm good. How are all of you?
We're doing
Wonderful.
Okay.
fine.
Good.
We're
Good.
laughing, so we're
I was
doing fine.
I was listening to all the wisdom of you ladies on cooling and keeping your homes cool. Another idea is when you have your maintenance services on your air units, to have them clean the coils. Because if the
Correct.
coils get clogged up, then it's not going to cool efficiently.
Oh, you're right about that, because sometimes the coils can get too cool and they freeze up.
Yeah, they get too cool and they freeze up. But if
Mhm.
they get clogged with
Mhm.
debris and dust, and sometimes when your maintenance person cut your grass, or your husband, or if you're cutting grass and you're passing by your air conditioning, it blows it in there and clogs up the coils, and it causes the coils to get hot because they have to stay cool at a cool temperature. They'll get hot and they'll make your air unit not perform efficiently.
So what do we need to do? Just get a blow thing and just blow it out?
Or
Yeah,
rinse it
yeah.
out.
You could do it yourself, but you have to be careful because they are very gingerly. You know, you could mess it up. You could blow it with air, or you could do it with your water hose. But
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't use a nozzle on it, because a nozzle increases the pressure. You know, just do it the old way. You know, put your
Put
finger
your
there
finger
and
in the
just,
center of it.
yeah, and do it that way. But you know, make sure your unit is off and everything, because you're dealing with wiring and electricity. And make sure your unit is off, and then probably let it dry out about 30 minutes, and you should be good.
And another thing, let me say this. If your unit has grass around it and you have to keep it cut, you may want to put you some heavy plastic around it to keep the grass down. That way it won't grow, or some cardboard. Then you don't have
Right.
to worry about the grass getting backed up in your unit.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Or you
Jim.
could cut out there, make it dirt, and then just put some rock down there as a decorative rock.
Right. I got some old shingles around mine to keep the
See,
grass
that's
down.
repurposing. That's repurposing building products. That's a good thing. Sustainability. Thank you, Sister Collins, for practicing that.
Oh, well, you know, I have to work on this old house, honey. That's why I need to take those classes.
Hey, get this, and they classes are ready for you. You know what I mean? I know you signed up, and so we got you in.
Okay.
So Councilman, when you going to that place down at Georgia State? Because I want to go see this, but I don't want
I
to
do
get
too.
lost down there.
Hey,
Huh?
I went back down there today. I was just around here. I saw a little brick. I said, yeah, I just had to just come, you know, as but listen here, anytime y'all want to go, they do tours all the
Yeah.
time. They say, well, matter of fact, we can schedule a tour. And so there, we have to do it, what is it, about a week in advance or so? And
Or next month?
I mean, we can do a tour this month.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, matter of fact, yeah, I call down there and I say when we get a tour scheduled, and so, and then we can do like a little lunch and learn.
Okay.
BYOB.
So are you trying to do one? You're saying to do it during the day, or are you saying to do it before our call? What are you looking to schedule it for?
Oh, during the day, get it the next available slot. And we have a meeting room too, and then we have a community room. Oh, it's just, I mean, I have to understand something. I've seen this building in my dreams. I just didn't know it existed.
So where is it located at Georgia Tech?
First Street is let me go get the address.
Okay.
But yeah, but or you could just look at the Candida building, KADE Dita.
That's a good mic on, but she's been there also.
Who?
Jessica's on the call.
Hey, Jessica.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hey,
Well,
Tell
tell
us about
everybody
your experience.
before you
Oh,
tell us.
I
Good.
absolutely am in love with this place. If you can think of the most sustainable location possible with all the off-grid type amenities that you can think of in your head, this place has everything. What I appreciated most about it is that even though they don't have traditional even HVAC systems, it was cool in there, like it had air conditioning. I was very impressed by that. Their I guess what you would call their public utility as far as like electric and water, it actually has more energy being used in that, created in the building, that can be offset to other buildings on the campus of Georgia Tech. And what I really, really liked was all the materials that was being used. So they take things that people would normally throw away as waste on construction sites, and they've actually used them in the building, and they give you the whole storyline around, you know, every part of it and how it was built. And so it by itself tells a story. It's made history, being one of the number one, what they call a circular green buildings in the entire world. And Fulton County, South Fulton, we're going to build one better. So I'm super excited that when you guys go to visit there, you'll be able to kind of get an understanding of what the exact definition of green construction is. And then being able to recreate it in South Fulton is just going to make it greater, because Georgia Tech is known for that. And so it behooves us in South Fulton to come up with ideas that will allow for us to keep up, not just with a trend, but with some of the top research institutions like Georgia Tech. So please definitely take an adventure out there and go see it so y'all can experience it. And I'm curious to hear the feedback when you guys, after y'all make that visit. And I'll try to come if I'm in town.
Absolutely, because y'all know we already went number one in the nation, and with this building, we want to now be number one in the world. So we're going for that destination. We're going global.
You want to tell them about your company?
Sure. Well, again, I am Jessica Lewis. My company's name is MOBU, M-O-B-U, which stands for Modular Building Units. But we build residential and commercial structures out of shipping containers. Currently, we build on site, but we're moving towards being a manufacturer. Again, a first of its kind in the entire world. We are a Black, minority, female-owned company that is going to have its very first shipping container manufacturing facility inside of a prison here in the state of Georgia in Alto. And so we are going for firsts as well, and can't wait to be able to see first of its kind in South Fulton as well. Thank you.
Now
Wow.
we want to try to get some manufacturing here in South Fulton too, and so hopefully we'll have a chance to have a conversation about that and see about that later on. So I love it. New concepts.
Thank
New
you.
ideas.
Can't wait to, I am going to look at properties in South Fulton to bring our other manufacturing plants. So I hope to be able to give you guys high fives and hugs very, very soon.
Absolutely. We love the high fives over here. And so, but check this out. So also too, and did you say them containers you built vertical farming? Did I hear that correctly?
That's what I
Yes,
was, yeah.
absolutely. Yes, we can build anything out of a shipping containers. And so we actually just launched in Las Vegas the very first shipping container vertical farm inside of a pre-existing building. So we take the components of the vertical farm and we can pretty much grow anything. And what's great about the vertical farms is it takes very little space. So a traditional farm, you may need more than 300 square feet, but you literally can build it inside of a 40-foot shipping container, anything that you can imagine. Currently, we're building the one that we have built already, hosts basil, we have kale, we have 3 different types of lettuces, we have other herbs, thyme, parsley. We're about to do some vertical farms that kind of host larger crops such as strawberries, things that are hard to grow, and that are non-GMO. So that's our focus.
That's the important key right there. That's the important key what she just said now. Non-GMO.
So the strawberries are GMO, if you know the history of a strawberry, but we have the original heirloom seed that we're going to actually create. So the strawberries that we eat in a store came from a different species. And so they mixed it with 2 species to make our strawberries that we eat now, but we're actually going to grow the original species of that particular fruit. So we're moving back to getting back to original sources of seeds, because that's the challenge that we have. Our bodies are having a very hard time breaking down the stuff that we are eating because it does not have fruits, things that are fresh, and it doesn't have seeds. So yes, thank you.
So Miss Jessica, this is Chandra. Do you have, could you leave or do you mind giving your contact information? And I would like to know if you have, if your facility, if you have a demo here that people can tour.
So no, we don't have any buildings here. And the reason being is because we personally have had some challenges trying to get our customers' products actually approved. So now we are moving towards doing our own development projects because we have our own funding. He has our website now. If you guys are looking at the screen right now, he's showing you guys on the screen, and I can just place it in the chat. But it's shippingliving.com. And our goal now as developers is to bring all these green technologies at the highest levels to Georgia. So we do have opportunities, as he's showing you. We can do bunkers out of shipping containers. We can do the vertical farms. We can do data centers, which is something very common that's coming to our area, restaurants, your traditional homes.
Is that on the ground? Hold on, excuse me, stop. Excuse me, stop. Go back.
Go back. One more. That one. The
Yeah.
bunker.
So bunkers are important for a number of different reasons, but right now what we're trying to educate people about, so that's actually a rendering for hempcrete. So it's not specifically a shipping container, but we are a green construction company. So if it's green, we use it. So this bunker actually is something that people should take into consideration for a number of different reasons. If nothing else, again, to go back to your natural resources, being able to create a space that's self-sustaining. The ones that we build have their own water connection, is not connected to public water, has its own energy connections that's not connected to public energy. So, if apocalypse came, I'm not trying to wish that on us, but people that are inside the bunkers definitely will be safe and away from harm. We build them for individuals who are doomsday preppers. And so typically it has everything included: the housing, the water, electric, kitchen, storage for food, things like that.
Hey, Jessica, can you call me when we get off this call right here? I need to talk to you. Let me ask you this, though, is also, well, get this, then y'all can build emergency room pods then, right? Out of a container.
Yes.
Because we have this lady, Suzette. I wonder why she's not on this call right now. That's amazing. But it's she's been talking about this, and so it's but however, I need to talk to you after this call.
1
And
acre
so,
for 10 units?
Yes.
but also too is, somebody said something. She said, "Do we have one on display?" Let me ask you a
You asked
question.
the question. So we don't have one here, but if you guys want to see a residential unit, we do have a partner that's local here that has a unit that's off of Mary Street. And if you guys are interested in that, I can definitely make sure you guys can view it privately, or every Sunday from 1 to 3, they do have open houses.
Every
Well, I
Sunday from
want to talk,
1
I
to
want to talk
3?
about doing a showcase. And
Yeah.
so, but let's just jive after this call here, because I think that I love it. People, do y'all love it? Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Y'all
I
see
do.
that?
Miss Jessica, I have another question.
Sure.
So do you also have a, I would be interested in seeing your vertical, vertical, garden, your vertical space for your garden, if you have a display. I can't recall if you answered that or not.
The display, we haven't built anything in Georgia. Our display is in Las Vegas. And
Okay,
so I will let me see if I can pull it up here. Hold on.
you did. I saw the image in
That
your
was on our website. We have a separate site for our farming.
Right. And so, and out in Vegas, people, let me just tell you what they also have. Is they also have a place called Container Park. And you know, it's I love their forward thinking out there, because it's got this little dragon out front out there, Spitfire, as you're coming in out there, and these are making the recyclables. And I just love it. I'm just saying that you just have no idea what is being invented. And that's what I'm saying, is like you have the nice restaurants, nice bars, it's 3 stories. And people need to look at they look at shipping containers and they just say, oh, but no, these things come with aesthetically pleasing redesigned concepts. I mean, like she said, showed you homes, vertical gardens. These things are made of glass. We're looking at sustainable building. Plus, it's durable. And so, as the heavy wind resistance, it's just all kind of good factors and great unique factors that go along with this. And so,
If
let's
you
go,
all,
Jessica. Let's
I,
go, Jessica. Bring it to South Fulton. Come to South Fulton. I want to come to South Fulton. Come on, let's get it.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Dream come true.
Someone asked the question. If you go to Instagram on the Green Side Up Farm, I actually put the link inside our chat here. You guys can click on that link and you can see, I have farming partners. You can see everything that we're doing in Las Vegas right now. We actually are redoing an entire supermarket to turn it into a vertical farm. And the shipping container vertical farms are built inside of the supermarket. So all the fresh produce is literally being created with inside that supermarket. So that there is inside the meeting chat here, the chat box, so that you guys could be able to do that.
And remember one thing, people, in order to produce, you must eat produce.
Definitely.
That's just me and I just love that saying. I made it up. I love it. Because your doctor tells you to go eat at the produce section. If you want to go produce, I'm just saying.
If you
To me,
want
it
to live
makes
a
sense.
fruitful life, you need to eat fruit. So I feel you on that language right there. Because if
Right.
we are what we eat, and the only way that we can survive and live long and have healthy, sustainable lives is through the foods that we eat. So we have to start growing again. We have to get back to farming, and farming doesn't have to be, working in dirt all day, sweating out in the sun. The way that we actually produce fruits and vegetables is through this process. It's an automated process, and we do it like a business in a box. So it comes with all the software, everything you need. It comes built out, everything. So no one has to put the guessing, like, how do I farm? Turn this button on.
Right.
Make sure if you see a notification that says something shut down, you go check it. It's just simple things, and it's basic training. It's literally very different than traditional builds. And you have to remember, a lot of farmers are struggling right now in how they're farming. They're losing their crops at significant rates. And so if we don't even help them pivot, we won't even, this is why we have so much seedless, because farmers can't keep up with the weather. And this is where that climate change comes in. It affects how they're even able to grow. So if it's extreme heat all the time, or it's cold, or it rains a lot, any extreme in any one condition of weather, unfortunately, it affects how our stuff is growing. So farmers are struggling right now, and they really need to understand how to use this method, because it takes up less space and the yields are every 21 days, whereas traditional farming, sometimes you're waiting months. So there's innovation out there that can be used to be able to, address housing, address, food insecurities, workforce development, training around these things. It literally can be a one-stop shop, but I'm biased, so y'all don't have.
Oh no, you're not biased. Get this, I'm on board. And so look here, let me just say this is just this ain't your grandparents' farm. And so I'm just saying that this is everything. People, we have realization. Now the caveat is we got to get you from LA and then got to get this over here to South Fulton. And I really mean ASAP. And so as because let me just say something, innovation, right? And why does this type of bill fits within South Fulton? I'll give you the caveat. According to our mission, do you know what our mission is? Well, it's to provide excellent customer service and a safe, innovative, interactive, and economic vibrant city. I think this fits that entire criteria of our mission. So now it's mission possible. We got a perfect carburetor for you. And let's check and see. How quick is your moat? Look here. If you can mobilize in 2 weeks, look here, we got something. I want a whole display. Can we do that? Can we do that?
That's for you, Jessica.
All I hear is yeses.
Oh, I said yes.
Because I see it going all the way up. She just met you. Reeves.
Oh no, she didn't. I get it. I dreamt about this moment. It's time back. But I knew it's coming though. Cause see, all I'm gonna say is this. We had education. I mean, we have something of similar nature, but these container buildings, container parks. I mean, they got container malls, and I'm just saying that the market is dictating. Because one thing is when you talk about building materials, it is all-time high, and you're looking at different modes, and then you're looking at people want different sizes of space, and just different, and just something that's more sustainable, something that it's a reuse purpose, right? Because what were they doing with containers before? I mean, when they have reached their life cycle, what were they doing with them beforehand?
They just said they don't even.
Backing them up.
They only have one use, and that's to travel from one destination to the next, and they typically don't get used again after that. And they don't use one container more than once either. So they have literally a one trip life cycle, and they just sit.
So it's a waste of resources.
Waste of resources. But now we have something that is resourceful.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. I already got a project for y'all.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
I'm talking about, I'm jumping. I did backflips. And I can't even do it back in the dark, people. I'm just saying. I'm really excited.
So one is, when you do the container homes, are they built green? And
check.
Second is, when y'all were talking about the food supply, how many of us are, well, I'll wait for you to answer the first question.
So yes, they are built green. So we're a green construction company. So green is from start to finish. Green starts in the design. So when you're getting architectural drawings, that person has to take into account space, material, as well as I would say overall layout, including civil engineering. So where is the sun going to hit the property the most, so that when it's the winter time, they can churn their HVAC systems less. Like, it starts in the design all the way up to the build out. So that's what we take into consideration when we do this.
Beautiful.
Because see, that's also too in the design. If you want to put solar panels in your
Mhm.
roof, then you have they got to be shaped and set in a different.
Optimize the sunlight.
Absolutely, and
How
so
y'all went with us when we did the tours last year? Because their energy, their mortgage was like around 900, and their utility bill was like $60 a month.
Yeah, I wasn't able to go on that tour. I missed that opportunity.
This Miss Johnson, I seen on the news that the mayor in the city of Atlanta are using those box cars to build homes for the homeless, and they will be ready in 8 weeks on some city of Atlanta property.
Mhm.
I'm gonna just say this: on the way down the Cadena building, coming down Chattahoochee, if you're going out right before you get to the bridge, there's a whole vertical container apartment right there. I kid you not. It's like, as I'm just seeing the examples and the realness. But I'm glad y'all on board. I'm glad y'all on board because see, is that when we have subject matter experts come, you know, that ain't saying what I want. I'm just saying that these are subject matter experts. Get this, they ain't talking about anything. This is actually what they're doing, and so and we want them to come down here too. Is made in South Fulton, stayed in South Fulton. Just think about what the opportunities have, particularly around railroad tracks and things of that nature, as we can look at, some mixed use and some different ideas now. And I think that those Container Park, if anybody go out to Vegas, please go out to Container Park and take a look at that. And
When
so
we going?
hey, when you got the trip, because I told you Jordan Powell hit me with $531. You know what I mean? I'm still $530 short. So I'm just
I
saying.
suggest you hurry up and get on budget billing so they can adjust your
Get this. Y'all here, y'all educated me tonight. Get this. I just take to myself, budget bill. It's like, how do I qualify?
Okay, I'm gonna start my financial literacy classes back up because I see we got work to do. But Jessica is also bringing her friend on next week to tell us some information I didn't even know. You want to give them a brief overview of what she's gonna come talk about?
Sure, absolutely. So one thing we're very big on with our company is financial literacy in the form of how we spend our money. And so we've met some experts that are part of our, I would say, consortium of companies that educate us on how right now, an example would be you put money into a bank account, they take your $1 and they turn it into $10. That's called monetization. So they basically multiply whatever it is that you place inside your bank account. Now, you may not know this, but the same thing that they're doing, you can do as well. And there are certain procedures in order for you to be able to do that. So your bills that you have that come in every month, they actually are bonds. So people think that it's just a bill because at the top it says statement. You notice it doesn't typically say BILL, it says statement of account. And the reason why they do that is because it's considered what they they call a security instrument. So security instruments can be what we use now as checks. It can be our debit card. All of those things are considered security instruments. Now, what happens, and this may solve some of your Georgia Power issues, and this is why I'm explaining it this way. What she does is she teaches you how to take those bills or to take any contract that you may have or any kind of agreements that you may assign to, and you take the same way they monetize at the bank when they put your $1 in and they flip it. You can do the same thing by doing certain things. So one of the things one is certain language that you can place on those documents, and when you submit it to Georgia Power, it will zero out your account. They have other ways, like if you have contracts like car notes and mortgages, things like that, it will actually zero out your balances. Same thing for tax bills. Now, I may be saying too much because there's a lot of politicians on this line, but she'll be teaching you how to get rid of your bills. And we call
Politicians
it,
going to take advantage of what the system got to offer. I'm sorry to get it. Who's a politician on this council call?
well, I'm just,
We have leaders on this call. I don't know
okay,
who's a politician. We have leaders on this call.
I don't want any
But
Sure
trouble.
do.
I
get it,
just
get it,
wanted
get it, get
to,
it. We ain't got no politicians. We have everybody on here leaders, and so that's all we get it. We just know how to lead effectively. That's all. Go ahead. I'm
We
listening
just need the voice.
intently. Thank you.
absolutely. Well, what I will
Amen.
say is, thank you for that explanation, because I would love for you guys to keep an open mind to this information. Believe it or not, back in the day, our grandparents used to take their bills in and cash them in at the bank. That was never illegal to do. For some reason, we are no longer doing that. And every bill that comes in your house, you can go into your physical bank and cash them in. And she'll be explaining some of that on that 1 hour call next week, so that you guys can get back to how bills typically should be paid. And it's not from you spending your Social Security, your paychecks, your disability checks. It's not from any of that. You literally can turn your bills into what they call is equivalent to a check and go cash it in, and they will give you the money for that bill, and that bill will be zeroed out. And
Well, you
so,
know what? Let me give this little caveat, because I'm just going to say out there as a statement of not account, but a statement of accountability, is that we might need to have this right here in person in the call, because see, we just want everybody to take advantage, but we don't want news to spread around and then things get misconstrued. But I like to see the faces and
yeah,
things of that nature. And so I think that we should just try to do this in
Yes,
person
this
next
is
week.
gonna have to be a Kendata meeting.
If it
okay,
could be a Kadada meeting, get
all
this.
in one,
Make
yeah.
this, get this. D'Amico, General Leverett.
Next Monday is gonna have to be at Georgia Tech then, because that's when
Make it
she
happen.
comes.
Get it. General Leverett. Make it happen. Oh, I love it.
I'm going, so that's a game changer right there, because she was expecting to be on Zoom. She lives in Texas.
No. They
Okay.
have the
He can be
screen.
on call.
No, they have the screen. She can come in on Zoom. We'll be in person.
Right.
Okay, great.
And so, Tamiko make the general. This is why I call her the general right here. Because get that, I know we'll be there next week. And so she gets it done. And so let me just say this, because I just think that that'll be a fair deal. And so, because I think we all want to we all want to hear the information, but also to this, I know she's then going to talk about how you could take all of your assets, roll into a portfolio, and take a loan out against your portfolio loan. And so,
She can teach you how to
as,
set up trust and put all your assets in trust. She's very knowledgeable, and that is really how we should be living. That's the only way that we can stay protected as individuals and pass down our legacies, is having trust in place. And so all my businesses are in a trust, all my assets are in a trust. If you can find me online, I would be really surprised. And so other than, of course, y'all go to our website.
Jessica, you talking about like, see, get this.
You done messed with him.
Irrevocable, and the whole by God living. And I'm just saying that the three parts is I try to see some things you can just. I'm just so happy we met you, Jessica. The stars just align right here, because see, it's about your future, it's about your assets and what you have now, and how all of this right here, okay, is these are tax strategies that are just taught out there to the wealthy people. But remember, when people say they destroyed Tulsa, Oklahoma, who had our banks, airports, and everything else, stock markets and all, remember, Tulsa, Oklahoma was just one of many. See, we had to have someone to go to and things like that to have a marketplace. So that's why your grandparents were able to do this. And so I tell folks like this, they always focus on one. I said, hold on, wait, you can't. If we had an airport and airplanes and, banks and our stock market, hotels and everything else, how can you think it's just one? And it's getting back to when they talk about Black Wall Street, they mean Black Wall Streets. Like, come learn. I'm super excited. I'm there already. I can't wait.
I'm doing an audio book right now. It's called The Whiteness of Wealth by Dorothy A. Brown. And it's very enlightening about the way the tax system and the financial system is set up. in our home values and in the color community. Well, now I'm even gonna say color because she say straight out the Black community versus other communities, and she says it doesn't happen in the Latino or Asian communities. It only happens in the Black communities.
Ooh,
So
I have to read that.
is a very, I keep rewinding because some of her points she making is, I'm like, okay, I see it. And she talks about how your property values in Black communities go down when you buy them versus if you are in white communities, it goes up. And she talks about why and the way that the mortgages are set up and the way that they redline and a whole bunch of stuff she talk about. So, and I'm only on chapter 2. So, and she talks about neighborhoods in Atlanta and everything. So I really am enjoying the way she is explaining stuff for me to understand over the years how all of this happened. But I'm excited as well. And we'll have to make a special flyer for this meeting next week. And we may have to do an Eventbrite so we can keep up with who's coming because we're gonna have to have some snacks or something for everybody.
Well, the snack is the hour of power that you have just got full on about the educational piece. Because understand, you know me, to give them some water. It's because, see, my thing is like this, I don't believe in long meetings. And that's in that third, because see, they put you to sleep, you don't get educated. But when you come in an hour, you come listen intently, take your notes, and then you're able to come out there and as a little appetizer, because you know she'll be back. This ain't gonna this ain't a one-part series, people. And so it's but we must do things like this and accordingly. And there's a reason for that too. And so as but hey, you know, oh my goodness, y'all have to know something and see how to build wealth. Wealthy people whisper, rich people scream. Okay, remember that. Rich
Mhm.
people scream, wealthy people whisper. And so it's the habits of the wealth. And so, you know, as get as go emulate this go read about them because there's a billionaire that stays around here in a normal looking house and you wouldn't even know it. And so, but you would think that they would be having a mansion and everything else. But they get that mansion to their business because they hold parties there and that's an asset to the business. They just happen to live there sometimes. And so it's just these, it's all kind of strategies. Know the tax code or get somebody who does know the tax code, read it every year. And, you know, and if you own land, oh, the tax system is made for you to benefit. And so y'all learn all of these things and I can't wait. And so it's just, I'm glad it's not coming from me. But hey, I will be in attendance. I'm just loving it. And I love information. And I love information that helps people increase their economic bandwidth. And so, because that's how you really uh, change your world around you and change your environment.
Mhm.
Now I know, just to
I'm gonna
note,
sleep like a baby tonight,
we
you know.
normally would let this meeting be over, but since power was out, we just let it roll. You know, it absorbs the time. That's the only reason we letting this meeting go this long.
Well, get this. That's get this. That's the caveat. But get this. After every Monday, we're gonna have these conversations. You're gonna stop the recording. We're just gonna have a conversation after the call like that. So just whatever. I might be talking to myself some nights, but hey, goodness, it's all good. As that is a real conversation, right? But
So
does this mean you still being recorded?
it it
You can stop
is.
the recording. You can stop the recording.
Like, uh-oh.
No,
Wait,
I'm just saying, like you can. I mean, literally, you can just go ahead and stop it. It was